All right, Rossi, we're here night 2 of the WrestleMania post show. I would say it's probably the complete opposite of night 1, where you have a pretty melatonin undercard night 1 with a kick-ass main event. And then tonight you have a rock star first 4 matches. And then you kind of just start going downhill from there. The main event was fine in its own ways, but ending a main event like that is rather poor. Let's just put it that way.
Anticlimactic. Best way to describe it, really.
Yeah, disappointing, bad, in your feels, piss poor, honestly. It's a bunch of politics that you could see coming a mile away now. You could see, I feel bad for Cena, right? Travis Scott in the mix of, in way overshadowed on what he should be, right? Way pronounced and thrown out there what he could be, and overestimated, and they were kind of caught with their hands in an empty bag after they filled it up really nice on March 1st at the Elimination Chamber. And perhaps someone pulled all those fucking cards out and said, play my game, bitch. You know, it's unfortunate. You can see it coming a mile away. I think we just start there as people start to kind of funnel in here on the live. But overall, what's your feelings on night 1 versus night 2?
Night 2 as a whole, definitely a better show. 1, I don't know. I feel like I don't really know how to describe 1. I feel like it was
overhated. Like when chatting came on, I was like, it's a 6 out of 10.
Nothing was like terrible.
And I was like 6.5, 7.
Right. Nothing was terrible on it. I mean, you can have your opinions on the Charlotte Tiff match. I also saw a lot of people that really liked it. You know what I mean? So I think that it was, kind of a polarizing show. Maybe people expected more, but it had a great main event. So I can't poo-poo on it at all. And I think a couple of the matches even over-delivered. Today, I think that the first 90 minutes of the show, you put up there with any 90 minutes of any Mania ever from an in-ring perspective,
Yeah. All right. People are starting to funnel in, so I think we're all right. It's a bad taste in your mouth. Main event ended 15, 20 minutes ago, and anticlimactic is the best way to say it. But, they were left with their hands in their pants with a fucking small dick. This one here, it's bullshit if you think about it, right? Obviously, The Rock inserts himself at the end of February, comes on the show, plays his game, just says, oh, I got plans now. Cody, you turned bad with me, rumors or not. Cody says, no, I'm doing the right thing. They do the Cena stuff. They make that work. They have a great angle at Elimination Chamber. Very little Rock announced before that. I don't know if they're trying to fill it out. I don't know what The Rock's trying to pull. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. None of us know. There's probably 3, 4, 5 people that know all that bullshit, right? But for all of that, we're all suffering now because of that, because it was anticlimactic. It was a joke. It was piss poor. And before Travis Scott, the match was actually
pretty good.
Pretty well. It was well wrestled. Yeah. It was tight. Cena had his shoes on, ready to go. And, they probably perhaps bastardized the AA, but that's been toast forever, right? And it is a big main event. So I don't mind all that, but you're like, all right, well, there's parts and layers to these big matches with this normal modern WWE formula, and sure, go bastardize it. Hit an AA 5 minutes into the match and kick out, whatever. That's 1 of 5. I know it's happening. I know it's coming, but we're going to get the fireworks. We're going to get the theatrics. We're going to get the big story. We're going to get a Temu version of the Bloodline rules from last year, right? And we didn't even get that. We barely got a Kmart version of that bullshit, right? Am I being too strong before I continue here, Mike?
No, I mean, it's a feeling that isn't too strong, in my opinion. I think you're passionate about it, right?
Yeah, we invest all this fucking time. They give us that fucking bullshit. Fuck them. I made the right choice to fucking cancel the Vegas shit 2 weeks ago. My gut was right. This build has been fucking awful, and you give us that in the main event? Fuck you. Fuck them.
Yeah, you were looking over your shoulder the whole time during the match. We were all expecting something else. And you're right. I think the disappointing part was the first 15 minutes of the match was pretty fucking good for a John Cena match in 2025. It over-delivered. Theatrically, comically, AA kickouts. Like, it was just but it was a WWE main event style match for a while. And then you're right. The Travis Scott stuff, it's like, all right, is he going to walk halfway down? Is then The Rock going to come out? Is he going to get in the ring and Cody's going to get his hands on him? And then The Rock comes out. Nothing, right? It was just Travis Scott doing enough to distract Cody from Cena. And that's how Cody loses his 1-year title reign. I'm happy with how, I don't know, like the moment that probably wasn't even on the main broadcast of Cena like walking out, like you could tell he really enjoyed that. So to him, I don't think that his moment for his like last Mania going out on top, I think he probably felt good about walking out with the title.
It's overshadowed. Let's be real.
Right.
It's overshadowed, and it's not even fair to him.
Right.
He
It's not.
was the one that kind of gets fucking screwed out as anyways. Here we go. Chav Campbell, thanks again for last night, Chad. But the atmosphere at the beginning of Cena and Cody was amazing. Everything after that was rough. Yeah, it was a steep downhill fucking fall after that. Justin was sending me videos all night for YouTube and TikTok. Thank you for that, Justin. And it looked like the fucking crowd was happy, excited, and yearning for this match. I know everyone at my house was as well. Right? So they had the absolute investment from the fans, old fans, new fans. Speaking of old fans, Steve, here, his daughter, Paula, is apathetic. She says she's seen many WrestleManias in her days. This is not a WrestleMania moment. It's not a WrestleMania moment. It's a historical moment in WWE history with John Cena winning 17, and it's not a moment. It doesn't live up to the bar. Like, for this to peak instantly at the Elimination Chamber, and then we get dribble after that. We have a few John Cena promos. It doesn't even set up John for the rest of the 9 months of the year for a good fucking thing either. It screws him. It's just a fucking mess.
And in this 2-night WrestleMania format, heels going out on top at the end. Which I don't think, going back to any of the 2-night Manias, that hasn't happened. So you have that one feel-good moment.
No.
Your Mania feel-good moments this year was Becky returning.
Dead giveaway, right?
Yeah,
and I like Becky. Right. I thought it was good. Right?
Dom Mysterio winning the title. Like, those are stuff that people are happy with, but it's not the Sami Zayn KO on night 1. It's not the Cody of last year. It's all of these 2-night shows for sure have had one feel-good moment to end the show. And this year, while last night's angle was cool, tonight's angle was what it was, but both were just so predictable. Like, there was really nothing, and that's not to take away with how they ended last night, because I think it was very good. But then tonight, like, the way Cena won the title, he didn't need Travis Scott for. The ref was already out. He could have decked him with the belt, and that was it. So it just didn't. It was just overbooked, but also underbooked at the same time.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It was a mess. Like, it's Io and Belair and Rhea took that mess of a build and, had a great match that we'll get into much later, but they transferred all that messiness into the main event here in a way, because say what you want about the Cena stuff and the Cody stuff, the investment was there because, like Chad said here, the atmosphere was fucking electric. You had 2 all-time entrances. Cody's entrance was pretty cool with the Evel Knievel vibes, the Iron Man mask, and so on and so forth. And then John Cena's was so simple, stupid. It was like the Raiders colors, great. Him walking down, and it was electric. Like, his aura that they say was there. And John had his, like I keep saying this, he had his working boots on, and he had a good 50-year-old John Cena match leading up to it, structure or not, with all the finishing spam or whatever. But it wasn't even, no one was invested in that shit. Like, it's fine. That is the modern day whatever, right? Like, that's acceptable in my eyes, and it's anticipated, and it's not. It's just that it's like, all right, they're getting it out of the way because all the fucking fireworks. And then you have all the stuff from last night that was electric, right? You had you had Rollins beating everyone over the head with the Paul Heyman stuff the last 2 weeks of that build. And then they actually pay off with it, and then they deliver it. And you suspect that it's going to overflow into night 2 here at 41, and it doesn't even come close. They announced that Heyman and Cena and Paul are going to be on Pat McAfee's show. So you're like, oh, it's going to be NWO. It's going to be all that. It's going to work. And I personally didn't feel it, but with them beating you over the head with that, as how they beat you over the head with the Rollins stuff, it's more like, all right, they're going to give you that too, because they're beating you over the head with it. And then they pull the rug out of that. So it's all right, there's none of that. So you're getting the Rock. And then you get the stupid Fiend song, which isn't bad, but it's going to be stuck in my head. And now it's tarnished forever because you had fucking Travis Scott. And I got a text from D'Amato right away. we got a 15-minute entrance in a pretty good match or whatever he said, really puts a monkey wrench in this. I'm like, you're being too harsh, D'Amato. They're going to, this is where it starts getting good. And not even fucking close.
Yeah, you
It really
immediately
was
thought
the monkey wrench that killed this match.
right, like when Rock was in New Orleans the night he announced Mania next year, they played Lil Wayne, and then Rock came out. So you almost felt like, Travis Scott was going to get to the top of the ramp, and then the Rock's music was going to hit. And then it's like, all right, cool. But then just Travis Scott just kept walking and kept walking and kept walking. And he did like the slowest WrestleMania entrance of anybody on just the walk aspect of the entire weekend. So it felt like something, you're right, was brewing, and nothing came to fruition.
Yeah, I thought The Rock was going to come when he was on the stage waiting and posing and doing whatever he was doing. It was like he even like took a low-key step to his right or left, looking in the entranceway, looked like it was clearing. I'm like, all right, we're going to get The Rock here. And then what does Cody have up his sleeve?
Right.
Yeah. So, first of all, Cody historical reign, 1 whole year after beating Roman's historical reign, and you end it with that flat bullshit. John Cena winning 17, and you end it with that flat bullshit. The Rock coming in, inserting himself, creative control, whatever he wants to do. And with the history of him saying that doesn't work for me, brother, and pulling out here, what he clearly did, totally fucks this up. Not fair for Triple H, even though he's the head booker. And is he to blame? Who the fuck knows? Because The Rock's involved and knows that. It's not fair to fucking Cody. It's not fair to Roman, who fucking passed the torch to Cody, and now fucking Cena puts the flame out on the fucking thing. It's not fair to fucking anyone. It's not fair to the fucking people that paid thousands of dollars to sit there for night 2 and The Rock to pull his fucking game. It's fucking bullshit. That's what it is.
There's just like the way that it all played out, like you're just gonna look at this Mania, I think, as the what could have been, because there are so many different ways that they could have put this card together. And I think that, from a marketing perspective, they had a very smart 2 main event setup. But at the same time, like we could have had Punk and Reigns 1-on-1. We could have had, Cody and Punk. You know what I mean? We could have had Cena against whoever. It just, any of those options sound better now that we got through what we got through,
Yep. 21 minutes and 40 seconds just to play the game. It can give the timestamp. Cena wins with a four AAs leading into, not in a row, but
with a super AA as well.
Yeah, and the super AA was the second one. I didn't even get to the edge of my seat on that one. I'm like, yeah, no fucking chance. You're 10 minutes into the match, right? So, like Steve said here, they had a classic they had a classic brewing, and they blew this up for a bad finish. Yeah, pretty much, right? Like,
it's almost like they knew that, or they thought Cena had like a finite amount that he could work, and they had to, okay, after the 20-minute mark, we got to bring it home. You know what I mean? And in reality, I think Cena was looking like he could have went 28 minutes and had a full-blown wrestling match,
He's the ultimate company guy. And you said that he looked satisfied. Creatively, I don't think he feels satisfied after that.
Right.
I think
he's a good actor.
He puts on the face, and he's the ultimate company guy through and through, and he deserves more than that. And he just won the main event of WrestleMania, beat Ric Flair's fake fucking record and all that shit. He had the 17, like the Undertaker had 21-1, and all that stuff. Like all the fucking hoopla, all the bullshit. He got it, and he put the fake smirk on like he was a heel, but ultimately to his core, he can't feel satisfied.
No, I mean, maybe he just, like I said, just acting right. That's what he gets paid to do now. But yeah, I mean, he's a heel. I think he does a good job with the heel persona. I think the entrance was electric, like you said earlier.
Yep.
So we'll see what the follow-up is. I mean, the thing is, how often is he going to really be on TV, right? Like at first it sounded like it was going to be a lot, but hell, we couldn't even get him on the Raw before Mania. They had to do SmackDown, which was just kind of like the final selling point.
Well, he's in town. It makes sense, right?
What was it? 4 total appearances on the way here?
Yeah, 3 across seas, and then the one in Vegas on Friday.
So and the thing that sucks about it too is I feel like each appearance, him and Cody kept improving the build, right? But then we get to the match and it was just, okay, really paint by numbers when you think about it.
Yeah, but it worked. Like it was the Cena formula. And it's unfortunate because if Cena went out there and had like a Cody match, I feel like it would have even been a little bit better. But they went with the Cena match, which is fine, and it worked. And it was getting there and so on and so forth. But I don't want to keep harping on it. And really, a sly fucking move by them, throwing Stone Cold Steve Austin out there right before this. to be like,
We
you're
should have
not
known.
taking them. You're not really going
We
to
should
get
have
them.
known at that point we weren't getting anything major, right?
Yeah, or I put it in your face, right? I thought that's where their part where they were going to try to get cute and be like, all right, well, they're going to give us here, and then you suspect them not to get them in an hour when it's for the crescendo of that match. I'm like, they haven't been cute all weekend with the Rollins stuff, so I think they're going to kind of be cute here, but. In
Right.
retrospect, yeah, they totally gave us Cena and pulled us away. Like
And
they gave us
as
Cena
of
before that crap 25 main event
right,
too, with the same gimmick.
as of 9 p.m. tonight, right? Maybe 8:45, whatever it was. We were on the cusp of legitimately the best Mania single night since they've done the 2-night format. And then it just you know what I mean?
Oh,
So
night one on 39 was pretty good, but yeah,
yeah,
we had a lot of
it
like the
was
undercard was
building.
delivering
You could
immensely.
feel the energy, right? You could feel the energy. We'll get into the matches, but you could feel the energy building as the night went on. You
Yeah,
had an awesome opener. You go right into the Drew Damian match, which was awesome. You know, with the cool Slayer entrance. Then you have an awesome IC title match, a really fun moment with Hendry, which was kind of a good time for the crowd to
yeah,
have a breather. And then you were like, I don't want to even poo-poo on the stuff that came after that because it was what it was, but we could have turned it even into an epic night with just a better finish to the main event, and you would have felt a little bit better about the stuff in the middle at that point too. But then it was just like, all right, I could have shut the show off at 9 and been very happy with what I saw, and everything else would have just been what I would have wrote down if I fantasy booked it as this is what WWE is going to do, right? But even then, I would have overbooked it and thought they were going to do more than they did.
yep. All right, but Chad and I went 35 minutes, 40 minutes on the main event last night. I'm done at
Yeah,
17. I think we kind of bring this main event home and we kind of just put it past us and we can vent at it at the end and see if we feel any better after talking about the whole show. But overall, it's just a miss. I feel for Cody, because he didn't deserve that. Like literally, I feel bad for Cody, for Cena. I actually kind of feel bad for Triple H, even though it's his decision and so on and so forth. But
it
ultimately,
might not be,
how I take
you know.
this is The Rock pulled his card and said, "This is what it's going to be," and I'm going to Hawaii for real. And like the whole Rubik's Cube with the NJPW shirt now, what's the Rubik's Cube really for? Like, what are you trying to pull? Are you trying like the only one that's getting hurt here is you, Bennett, fucking Andy Atherton, everyone in this chat, the people that invested all weekend, we're the ones that got fucked here, not like this political bullshit that you tried because you have sour grapes from what 40 still when you really should have done it at 39, but you didn't have creative control or whatever. Like, dude, get over your fucking self. Like, I love The Rock. I'm not one of those guys that hate when he's on the TV. I love the Final Boss last year, but this is bullshit. And I put all of that on him. Like, all that goodwill that he has, it's fucking dissipating. It's fucking bullshit. Let's be real. It is what it is. A
After
spade is a spade,
after
right?
such a great 40 too, like even if he was not happy about what they ended up doing, he still worked, and he still the build with Cody made Cody look like $1,000,000 when he won that. Maybe it put Reigns in the back pocket a little bit too much, but at the same time, it was the end of his reign, so you were okay with that. And then like that goodwill's now automatically gone a year later, you know.
At the end of 40, he had a Cody match, inevitably, and then he had a fucking Roman match after that, right? And I don't even fucking know if I want to see those anymore. Like,
No,
whatever, dude. Like, this is the bullshit you're gonna pull. You had so much goodwill with me, top 10 guy all time in company for me on GWWE, so on and so forth. Yeah, you helped get this next Netflix bullshit, but ultimately, fuck you, dude. You pulled this bullshit. I can see right through it. And honestly, it's bullshit. It only hurts the company, in my opinion. Because look at all this negative bad will that they're getting. They had mixed reaction last night, and I don't know anyone that loved this. Even the Cena diehards that like only kind of care about the results. It's like, all right, he won it in a heel fashion, and it wasn't even epic. It was fucking lame. Like, and
yeah,
it might, mind you, if this was the plan the whole time for Cena to turn at WrestleMania and win the belt, because I think that's what the plan was. But then the rumors come out afterwards that they decided to do it at the fucking at Elimination Chamber. For what? Like, that's on The Rock. Like, who else is it on?
right.
Like, obviously Triple H funnels it and it goes through Triple H, but there's obviously politics and whatnot. It's fucking bullshit.
It takes some steam off of the turn too at this point
Yeah,
because
which takes steams off the rest of his fucking run
Mhm.
for the rest of
and
the
you've
year.
got
And he doesn't deserve that.
you've got 6 months left of it, or 7, 8, whatever it is. And like, again, my question is how long is he going to be here? Like how many weeks is he actually going to be around, and what's the story to tell? Like, what does Cody do? Do they just go right back into a rematch, and are we going to deal with the same bullshit then? You know what I mean? It just feels like it almost felt like coming out of this show, to your point, they cared more about Travis Scott than the other two.
Who had in this WWE world, he had very little ill will. It's hard for us to accept outsiders, but we understand that he's a massive star and he has so much appeal outside of the
Right.
WWE. But like the fucking 10-minute entrance and the goofiness, and yeah, I guess Cody got a little bit of his heat back, but it's not even fair to him either. He
No.
was the third guy in the heel turn, and now he was the first guy at WrestleMania. That's totally ass backwards too, as well. It's all bullshit. Hold on, Andy Atherton here. It screams that The Rock had his fingers on this finish of the main event, but everything else was okay to good. He probably didn't meddle in those. Yeah. And then Steve here, huge Cena guy. Only watches his match, wanted him to win super bad. It's fucking sucked. Exactly. So even the Cena guys, the Cena mark, the Hogan mark, don't even fucking like it. The guys who love history, it's all tarnished. It's unfortunate. And Mike, I don't even think that I'm going to overreact and look back on this in a week or so, or next month or next year, and fucking be like, yeah, you overreacted because so-and-so and this and that all played out. I don't see that happening. I really don't.
No, because I don't think Cody's going
to get this back on track.
Right. I don't think Cody's going to get his revenge from Cena. I think somebody else will. You know what I mean?
Well, so I assume that we have Orton in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I assume we have Orton at Backlash, and then they're probably already thinking about Punk at that point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Who knows? I mean, you got a 2-night SummerSlam.
Two things. You think Punk at Money in the Bank? One, because the Intuit Dome, where we had the Netflix Raw, and then two, the Money in the Bank from 2011, right? So that's
Right.
2 callbacks where Punk had historical moments, right? So, yeah, perhaps, right? That makes sense. And honestly, I'd rocket ship this belt right to Punk, and then maybe you figure it out. I don't even know.
Right.
So what is, and then let's talk John Cena's promos, his verbiage leaving in here. So he's going to take the belt and keep it hostage. All right, sure. Like that's fine. That's cool, I guess. But what does that mean? How is he going to isolate himself? Is he going to isolate himself, or is he going to surround himself with Travis Scott? Like I doubt, is he going to recruit younger heels to kind of be with him? Like what does he do to kind of fluff this out and get this back on track?
I don't know. I mean, the promos were all about I'm going to do this and I'm going to be done at that point, right? Because even he said, all I cared about was this title. I'm going to get this title. Everything's been weird. Like everything about Cena has been weird. Like it's a cool idea about doing the full year retirement thing. And they even announced early on how many dates he has, but they're not announcing these dates very far in advance. It's like they're trying to squeeze them together as they go. So it's really tough for me to even think about what he's going to do next because we just don't know how much he's going to be around. Like I think he's advertised for, what's he advertised for this week? Raw?
Yeah, tomorrow.
And then what? Like do we even know that? And that's the thing is, I guess
I think he's on Backlash.
Yeah, they wouldn't have announced a lot of this shit pre-Mania anyways, because that would have kind of given away that he was going to win the title, right? Even though they kind of did that anyways, but it's just I don't know what his path is because I don't know how much he's going to be around, and I'm honestly more interested in what the Cody path is than the Cena path now.
I don't think he has any advertised date. That man deserves a break, and he really could use a break to kind of freshen back up and kind of see what the landscape looks like in 6 to 8 weeks. Anyways, he's deserved that, honestly. All right, so to what we just said, so the potential of what could be a year-long dominant faction, potentially including others, is just Cena and Travis Scott. Pudgy Boy Sports, our boy. Yeah, I don't even know what it is. And it does Cena need a stable? I don't know. Probably not. But
Yeah, because wouldn't you have
that was
done
the
that
hint,
before this?
and like it was the hint, and then the historical moment, and now it's empty. It's just a fucking mess. Like it's honestly just fucking bullshit. Right. So I don't know, Mike. I'm sure we'll jump back on this, but any lasting words on this main event here?
No, I think we
Yeah,
covered it
and
all.
honestly, yes. Andy here, I missed this one. After the crap finish of Jay and Gunther, they do this, which was worst. Yeah, in a vacuum, that was an interesting. Like I said with Chad last night, I like the idea of the tap out of the choke out just for the instant, but I don't. It just wasn't just executed awfully. Like you know what I mean? So,
The big thing with that is that's like of the last 3 times Gunther's lost singles matches, 2 of them have been quick tap outs. So it's kind of
well,
like
besides outside of Sammy, yeah.
right. So it's kind of like established as his weakness, I guess. That's how I would probably guess that to be. And Jay, they just wanted Jay to kind of get a flash win, I think.
Yeah. All right. Chad Chad just posted a picture saying that Bobby Roode produced both Cena match and Cody and the Jay and Gunther match. So a tough weekend for Bobby Roode. You know, his hands are tied, but you know, you kind of can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit, right? So
What job? I mean, they gave him the 2 title matches. Like that's
yeah.
kind of shocking.
All right. So I say we go opposite what we did last year and we kind of go in reverse order just because how this card was kind of constructed, Mike, and how it flowed. I think we end this kind of hot. So the 6th match of the night, Lyra and a mystery partner defeat Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the women's tag team titles, 8 minutes and 40 seconds. And Rebecca Quinn, Becky Lynch is that mystery partner. I don't think anyone was really surprised. 8 minutes was like the perfect length for this. Liv looked fucking incredible. That outfit
Best
was
she's ever looked. Best she's ever
that
looked by a
outfit was
substantial margin.
generational. She's going to get a lot of Main Street buzz coming out of this show and even be a bigger star. I kind of wanted her to keep the belt, but I understand obviously a big surprise like that, a big return like Becky, it makes sense for that. And plus, NXT is going to do huge numbers with Becky Lynch back there this weekend on
In
Tuesday
Vegas too, yeah.
So hell yeah, Pudgy boy, hell yeah, live with the fucking hearts, absolutely. And low key, Raquel kind of looked hot next door too as well with the red. Red is definitely their color, but overall, yeah, I kind of wanted Liv to honestly win. She like coming into this match with the blood. I said this match felt like it was made for Liv, and now that with Becky and Bayley and all that stuff, it kind of settled into what it was. Overall, acceptable 2.5-star match with a cool moment with Becky.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Liv is the one that beats Lyra for the IC. It's probably not going to happen, but that would be kind of
Actually,
a cool
that's a
thing
good
to
call.
do.
I do that. That's what I like. I like
You could do
and
that
then you
pretty
have
quick
Tom
too.
and her both IC. I really like that actually.
Right. So that they could do that and do that like even tomorrow, honestly. But I think that the Becky surprise was cool. Like obviously we all knew it was coming, but it's still kind of delivered. I think that Lyra looked pretty cool with the bird's wings. And then for her, she was like legitimately marking out as she kind of tends to always do when Becky came out. It was a cool match for the 4 of them. I think it was pretty entertaining for all that it was. Becky looked like she had her first match in however many months.
Yeah,
But
she
she
looked
still
pretty loose. Lyra looked tight though. Lyra looked good.
Yeah, Lyra looked pretty good. She had a slow start. She looked like I don't know, she's probably was very worried about this match after the Rumble performance, if, we remember all of everything that came with that. But Raquel was good. I think, for a little, 8-minute sprint or whatever it was, I think they delivered. For Becky, who's probably had a lot of ring rust and who knows how much she actually prepped for this, she still hit her spots. She sold well. So all in all, I think that there's going to be, we'll talk about it. I think there's going to be a heel turn of some sort coming out of this with the Bayley attack.
I kind of low-key
looped
thought
into
Becky
it.
was going to turn on Lyra when I was in there. We can mention Bayley here too. I
still think that's going to happen, just not now.
Yeah. I highly doubt Bayley was told this leading into this weekend, right? But it makes kind of sense. I had that Becky Lynch video about 6 weeks ago, what she's doing, and actually had this scenario where she has a surprise moment and returns. And did it live up to the hype? It was what it was. It was fine. But I'm glad Becky's back, and I'm curious what she is going to become in this, I guess, third run right? So she got a big fat contract. She's going to Netflix. Her husband is the hot heel on that brand. So we'll kind of see how she shakes out. The women's division on Raw actually needs a hot Becky Lynch. Let's see if they can get her back where she was at one point.
Right, especially because like the middle of the card on Raw is not that great, so that just automatically elevates everybody. But the natural story was with Liv, anyways. Whenever Becky was to come back, Liv's been the one that says that she's retired Becky Lynch several times in the last 9 months or whatever. So that when Liv had her like jaw on the ground when Becky's music hit, like that was the right way to do it. And
Which
her
gives
tied
her an
into
out
Liv,
too, in a way, as a loss, right? Like, oh, I
right? They
wasn't
weren't
ready
prepared
for her,
for
right?
it.
Yeah. So, all right, the fifth match of the night, Logan Paul defeats AJ Styles in 17 minutes and 50 seconds. 3-star gentleman's match. It just honestly, the bar was high for a Logan Paul match on the big stage. And AJ, I don't know if he was hurt, but I just feel that maybe AJ was not at that gear. He's closer to 50 than 40, of course, and it is what it is, but I don't know. I just felt that this never got into really third or fourth gear at most. I like the angle with Cross. I thought the camera work was really cool. That I love how Cole kind of geeks out on that Jeff guy, that geek or whatever, always finds himself. And I kind of like how Cross found himself there. Like I said, the camera work was really cool. And I'm honestly kind of happy for Cross, even though I kind of think he stinks and he's a slug. But character-wise, he's fun.
He was right again too. He's always right when he tells people to do stuff and they don't listen to him, and then bad things happen to them. So it's continuing. I mean, I almost feel like there's a groundswell for Cross lately. I heard a lot of people that wanted him to win the Andre. The Bloodsport reaction was pretty good. I mean, he had a history with people there. It just feels like there's a yearning for more, I think, from the fan base for Cross for the first time since he's been back.
It needs to be something safe, though. I don't think they can go way out of the box and push him extremely hard, but whatever. Mike, before you continue there, Bennett, Andy, Pudgy, whoever's in the chat, kind of fill us in what Cena's saying at the press conference, if you will. Thank you, whoever, right? All right, sorry, Mike, go ahead.
Oh, you could. But overall, like, this match to me felt like exactly what it ended up being, which was the point of the show where people had to go to the bathroom, had to go up and get a beer or get something to eat, right? The crowd just needed that gap, and they didn't really have it in the first four matches. And I think there was enough excitement behind all of that stuff, and people were kind of waiting for the Orton surprise that after that happened, it was just like, all right, it's AJ and Logan Paul. If I was to skip one moment tonight, there's no woman surprise in this. There's nothing. This is the one that I'm going to get up and go do what I got to do in the arena. And you could kind of feel that. I thought Logan's entrance was really cool with how they did everything with the multiple camera angles. AJ was pretty run of the mill. But this got second longest match of the night too. So
I was going to say, honestly, I would have shed a lot from this, and it did feel like it was kind of sudden. So, like I said, I don't know if I lacked investment, which maybe felt that it wasn't as long as 17 minutes, or maybe I'm kind of underselling a little bit. I think that it was probably before that. Really, I don't. Maybe they didn't really completely catch 100% of my attention, especially as we'll continue on this post show, Mike. This was in a kind of a tough spot, really finishing. We had momentum, and to go out there for 17 minutes in a 50-year-old AJ style paced match, maybe it wasn't the correct decision.
Yeah.
Honestly, this might have benefited from if they put this yesterday and maybe flipped it with I don't know, maybe the US title or something. I don't know. Like if this was yesterday early where the crowd was maybe yearning in like the third spot or something, maybe it does a little bit better. But yeah, I don't know. Just maybe bad spot, bad timing. I low-key expected better from these two.
I think if you went into tonight's show, for most people that broke down the card, this was the easy moment to be the least excited about, right? I mean, you know that the first three matches all had high end potential, and then you had two matches that had surprises, and then you had the Cena match. So this was kind of left in the mud. And I think if you just turned on this Mania show in like 6 months and you just watch this match, maybe you think about it better than you did tonight in the flow of everything.
Unfortunately, I think we say that every AJ Styles match.
Right. And that's kind of, you're right.
Yeah.
That's kind of a really good call too. It's just kind of, there's a ceiling for an AJ Styles match now. It might be.
Honestly, after Shane McMahon, the second best AJ Styles match, in my opinion, maybe LA Knight from last year. I thought that was a slept on 13-minute breezer that really worked. Maybe because LA might have like more power moves or a better, more offense. I don't know what it was. I don't know if athletically, honestly, Styles looked a little bit behind Logan Paul. So perhaps that was a little bit of the issue too as well. But overall, gentlemen's three, it is what it is. All right, Mike, real quick, I'll let you finish with that. But thank you, Andy. Cena drops Cody's size plate on the floor when he comes in out to start. He says, as part of being the last real champ, he has a better relationship with the press. And then he says he walked off after a couple questions. So, just typical gimmick heel Cena. Probably was enough just to kind of satisfy it, but it kind of goes with the flow of that main event. A little disappointing, honestly, right? So, anything else on AJ and Logan before we?
No, I mean, I thought the finish was really cool. I like the Logan Paul finisher, the pulverizer, whatever they're calling it, after the punch and doing that. I thought that was really cool. And there's a pretty cool couple sequences with the Styles clashes too. I mean, I think they were building towards something cool, but then they kind of had the fuck finish planned. Well, not even really a fuck finish, but kind of. And all in all, it was just kind of, it was there. Nothing bad to say about it.
I think it's safe to say that Cross is probably re-signed, right? They're not going to give him that spot after that, right? All right, Andy, same gimmick with Triple H coming to the presser, if you will. Thank you. All right, Randy Orton defeats Joe Henry by pinfall in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Mike, this was electric. This was super fun. I don't think many people had Joe Henry on their bingo card of like, you had Rusev, you had Al Black, you had not Fatu, you had Solo, you had all these prognostications. I guess Jeff Hardy was pitched, right? So that was cool, but Joe Henry was perfect.
Yeah, I think
similar to his Royal Rumble spot where he gets the big star interaction with Roman Reigns. He gets the big star interaction on the grandest stage of them all. And then it's just unbelievable, the pop and how fun this was. 3 minutes. It could have been 5. It could have been 1. It would have been the same. I don't remember anything from the match besides the spot and I called the RKO when it was coming out of nowhere. And I genuinely thought that Orton had fun. And I love the presentation with the entrance with Joe Henry and everything. This was a home run for me for what it was, Mike.
I was very annoyed in the post match of this because there were so many people online talking about how Henry got buried. They buried TNA. They just made him look like an idiot. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? They did not bury TNA. They made TNA look so much cooler by having their world champion answer an open challenge with Randy fucking Orton. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but Joe Henry's nursing an injury, right?
Oh, he is?
He worked. Yeah, he hasn't worked a ton. He's got a title match coming up in a couple weeks it's a triple threat with him, Ethan Page, and Kazarian. A lot of people were thinking they made it a triple threat because he had to lose the title. He worked the TNA show on Thursday in Vegas, which was just a mixed match. He didn't have to do much.
Yeah.
So I think he only could do so much in this match. And it wasn't about a work rate thing with this. It was about a moment. It was right. It was about a surprise entrance. It was about getting 60,000 people or whatever the number is swaying their arms back and forth. A lot of people in that crowd know him from the Rumble. A lot of people might have heard his music for the first time because they were not major fans.
He's still viral.
But it's fun, right? Yeah. It's a fun moment. And it's somebody that can safely lose to Orton, and Orton beat another company's champion. It's still a good looking win for him. And he's not buried at all. He was on WrestleMania against Randy Orton. So anybody with that take is so wrong.
I don't think they're serious. They're trolling, or they just totally disconnected, or they're just haters, right? Jeremy Nichols, Joe Henry moment was absolutely great. And then Andy, can you elaborate a little more? Nick Khan right off stage as Triple H walked in. Was he checking on something, like he checked on that lady that Stone Cold ran over with the ATV?
Oh, they our friend Chris Featherstone, who
Your boy.
has such high end reporting. He put something out a little bit that there's no heat on Steve Austin for what happened with that lady.
I'm pretty sure 65,000 people in the stadium kind of laughed their ass off. Unfortunately for the lady, there was a barrier there. I don't
I
know
think
how.
she sold it. I think
Yeah,
she knew, hey, this is well shit. I got knocked over. I can make this something good.
he was on his phone as Triple H walked by. Yeah, probably bitching at the fucking Rock. Thank you,
Or The
Andy.
Rock was bitching at him.
Yeah, something, right? Fucking get your fucking house right, Nick fucking Khan. Fucking, why don't you guys stop fucking pumping yourself up in these fucking interviews and give us a fucking decent conclusion of WrestleMania, you small fucking dick fucks. All right, anyways. And I like them all. They're doing a great fucking job. But this is a fucking miss. All right. Dominic Mysterio defeats Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Penta in a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental Championship. 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Honestly, Mike, I felt that they could have gave 3 or 4 minutes from the Logan Paul match to this match, and it would have been even better. I don't know really how to rate this match. I want to rewatch it, but all I do recall is having great fun in this match. I love the story with Dom and Finn, with the boiling point over on so much, and it really was a yearning of a WrestleMania moment for Dom to win. He was electric when he won.
Crowd
It
was
was
great.
just the word of this is just fucking fun. Let me read D'Amato's text. Go as you go. Go.
Yeah, I mean the crowd. I'm already sick of the European chants, but the Dirty Dom one was funny during this match.
Yeah.
Dirty Dom. I mean, I liked how Dom Mysterio not only won this match, but he won it clean. Yeah, you know what I mean. And for somebody that everybody's going to talk about how he's such a great heel and how he gets great heel heat, man, wouldn't babyface Dom versus Logan Paul be a feud? So there's a lot of cool stuff that they can do coming out of this, but ultimately, I like that there was a very clear focus of Dom. You know, he's set the first strike on Finn, but it was because he wanted to win the match. Finn and him never really had, like, even after the match, Finn didn't like super overreact to it. I think that not only was this an awesome moment to give Dom the title, but it's going to make the Judgment Day shit even more interesting with the angle coming that Dom's the champ. He beat Finn to do it, outsmarted him. So what's going to happen next? But I think Dom was the one that the crowd wanted in this match, and they got it.
All right, yeah, D'Amato, this is at 7:05, right? Cena and Dirty Dom, the top 2 faces of tonight so far for the pre-show. So yeah, they were yearning for it, and I honestly, I think this was the plan leading in, but I wonder if maybe they were like uncertain if they wanted to go, because I think they wanted to go Judgment Day here. I don't know if they were uncertain if they wanted to go Dom or Finn, but probably I'm saying like 1 or 2% chance. Maybe they decided pre-show, or maybe in the middle of the show flipped it to Dom, right? Because it really was his time to do it. I didn't suspect Dominic, excuse me, because I was like, you're really gonna have Dom and Jey Uso as your 2 singles men champion on the Raw brand, right? So I was like, I don't know if they really go it. It might make a little sense to go Finn here. But I think it was time to get the belt off Breaker, and I never thought it was going to really go to Penta. It was more of a reward for Penta having a great start to his WWE career to kind of throw him in a WrestleMania match, right? So, yeah, in retrospect, it really was the right move to go with Dom here.
Penta was great in this match. I think sometimes he can be botchy, right? It just kind of he goes too fast. But there was he did a sunset flip or something out of the, not a sunset flip. He did a suicide dive, and then Braun did one, like the flying spear or whatever it was, and they both hit so perfectly. It was like good start to this match with that, and I just thought Penta was super crisp. With some of these multi-man matches, that's kind of where he can fall apart sometimes because he's trying to do too much.
Yeah, makes
but
sense.
I
Where
think
he can just be highlighted with his.
right. I think he really delivered in this match, and there were several times at the beginning that he was kind of the linchpin that had to make it go, because you still had like pretty much like a 1-on-1 situation with the Judgment Day with how it started, and Penta being the penultimate babyface in this match. When you think about it, he was the one that had to kind of be strong in this match early on to kind of get it going, and I think he was awesome. And Braun, I can't say enough good about Braun, man. Everything that he does is fast and electric. You can't wait to see what type of crazy shit he's doing. The spear on Carlito was out of this world. And the guy finds different ways to excite you every time he's on TV right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Andy loved Dom winning as well. I was a little like skeptical coming in. I'm like, I don't really think they're going to give it to Dom, like I just said, but it really was the right thing to do. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but low key, I think he has some teeth to this title reign. I think they can do some stuff with it. And at the end of this title reign, perhaps he could be a babyface. We'll see. But I would stick Liv Morgan around my arm as long as he can, because whatever it is just fucking working.
Yeah,
like whatever he's touching is working the last few years.
Get the IC title on Liv, and then these two can restart as something cool.
But you have the China and not the China. Well, Eddie was champ. China was champ. Like you're gonna have that with the ICs, right? It's really is a good idea. All right, so Andy, he has some Triple H comments here. Triple H loved the women's three-way, and Triple H loved the Priest, and we're going to get into that next, Andy. He looked a little defeated at the start of this facially, so I'm curious how he breezed through a few things. He knows that main event didn't hit. He's a student of the game. He respects the history and the lineage of this sport, quote unquote, and he knows what hits and doesn't miss. So I'm very curious what he has to say about it. He looks a little defeated as well. All right, we're cruising here, Mike. The second match of WrestleMania, Drew McIntyre defeats Damian Priest in a Sin City Street fight. Mike, I want you to look. I don't want you to look, but I want you to guess how long this match was.
Like Experiment. 12 minutes.
What's that?
12 minutes.
Yeah, 14 minutes. So 13 minutes and 55 seconds. The right decision, right? It was a very good match. I don't think
right from the get-go, it was brutal.
Or anything, but it was extremely well paced. It was vicious. It was a little spotty, but the spots meant a lot. They maximized it. I love the viral moment with the phone with his brother and all that shit. I thought that worked kind of perfectly in a way. And this was a hard match to follow after the women's, but they did their job. It's a little forgotten about with the IC because I think perhaps maybe the IC moment kind of outkicks, right?
Yeah.
But overall, awesome. Like this match was kind of hard to live up to because we had high expectation because of the gimmick and because McIntyre's so hot in Priest and these guys being into it. And the feud's been simple but good. What's your thought on this match?
First off, the energy, this match had an aura to it with Drew's entrance, which is always badass, to the Kerry King entrance with Priest. Priest looked like $1 million when he came out. Way that they had the fire visual and everything, he just looked awesome. And it just kind of it made me think during this entrance, it made me think of this dude when he was in ROH as Punishment Martinez and had Kevin Sullivan with them and was just pretty much dressed like The Undertaker trying to get over. And he's come so far he's somebody that even, when he was before WWE and he got to NXT, I didn't really see this in him. Right. And he's made himself into something that's just super reliable for the company. And him getting this moment with the Kerry King Slayer shit had to be by far the best moment of his life at this point. Right. So it was really cool to see him have that moment, knowing that kind of going into it, he was going to lose. And then Drew, brutalized them and won it in a way that Drew should. And Drew needed this win in a huge way. And it doesn't even hurt Priest to lose the way that he did. That opening pretty early in the match, they did a suplex on the entrance ramp that was just it was Drew's head and the swell of Priest's back. It just looked vicious. And they just brawled. The table spot, you forgot it was one of those spots. You forgot the tables were even set up. You thought that Priest was just going to go die, and he falls through these two tables. All in all, the Claymore through the chair, just vicious stuff, but it didn't wear out its welcome, which I think to have this Hoss fight that you needed, this wasn't like a KO Sammy that needed to go 25 minutes, right? Or 22, whatever it was. They did everything they needed to do in the 14 minutes that they were out there. And both of these guys just felt like big deals going into it. And it's a match that Priest doesn't even look bad leaving.
No, he should be in line to face Fatu, in my opinion, first challenger. And then because he's still it's not like he's sloping down. He's kind of leveling out on the card, but he can kind of be ramped up after that. But Fatu and him would fucking rock, right?
He's somebody, feud with Fatu and then maybe reset him for 6 weeks or so, come in and back in the summer and see where that goes.
See where he's at after that. Do what you got to do with him. But yeah, Rock him with Fatu. That would fucking be fire.
Yeah, and it
All
would be
right.
it'd be a reputable win for Fatu early too, since Priest was a fucking world champion this time last year.
Yep. All right. Here's a few Triple H comments. Thank you, Andy. He thought Priest and Drew was great as well. He talked highly about Logan Paul putting in the work, kills it, even though people don't like him. I think people are fine to him. He says Bailey will be fine, is a true pro. Really is. It's like we kind of said, it's a tough spot for her, but it's the right choice. Let's be frank. Becky was the right choice. And she didn't know coming. It's not like she did not know coming in. Let's be real.
No.
Right? He's building up how far Dom has come in the last 5 years. Absolutely. Dom at the pandemic at SummerSlam, good kickoff, but after that he was kind of swimming for 2 years. And ever since he joined Judgment Day, he's been fucking awesome. And he continues to be. He's really, I can't believe how fun he's become. A lot of his natural quirks have worked in his favor now that he's like a heel and everything.
He just gets it.
Yeah, he gets it. True pro, like true family guy from the business, right? And Triple H thought Joe Henry was the right choice, and it allowed Randy to have some fun out there. And Randy earned to have that fun too, as we kind of said. So, yeah, all those sentiments pretty much true there with Triple H.
To the Bailey point, I mean, she had a huge WrestleMania moment last year. There's so many talented women on this roster. Like Chelsea didn't have a match at all.
Yeah.
Like it's people like NXT had 18 girls in there, Stand and Deliver. Mania had 11, but I mean, there were still 4 matches out of a 14 match card.
Yeah.
Like you can't have everybody on, and Becky being Lyra's partner makes a lot of sense. And I think that Bailey's going to get a big angle out of this at the end of the day.
That's true, hopefully for her. But let's be real. 2024 was like kind of a forced spot, in my opinion, for Bailey. It was never really organic, and it would kind of feel like it was out pushing her coverage for what she is at this point of her career. Bottom line, Becky was just the right choice.
Bigger star. No, it's just bigger Mania moment.
All right, speaking of Mania moments, Io Sky defeats Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley in a triple threat match to retain the Women's World Championship. 14 minutes and 25 seconds. I even thought they ended this a little early. I thought they were cruising still. I love the finish, but I thought they could add a little bit more to this, and you got some more out of it. But regardless, Mike, I'm not willing to say best WrestleMania opener ever. Owen Hart, Bret Hart would have a lot to say about that, as would Triple H and Bryan Danielson from 30. But overall, this was Rhea Ripley continues her streaks of great WrestleMania matches here. And this was a mess with the build coming in. And I was a little worried about the crowd investment here, but no harm, no foul. Opening this WrestleMania Night 2 with this match was an absolute home run of an idea and the correct placement on the card for this match. And I thought it was excellent. And yeah, I don't think it's weak match of the weekend. I think last night's triple threat is the match of the weekend, of course. But overall, I think I can't wait to rewatch it and see what I would grade it. But I think it's hovering around 4 for me, probably, for sure. There was a lot of cool sequence. It flowed extremely well. It worked extremely well. Io was a fucking rock star and showed that she belongs in this match. Rhea and Bianca's power stuff was excellent. Like the contrived 3-person movement sometimes seemed and come across as clunky. It didn't here. It all fitted. Transitions nice. And I can't say enough stuff about this, Mike. This is the right way to kick off WrestleMania this night.
Yeah, I think the funny thing is if you look through the 3 WWE shows from Stand and Deliver onto the 2 Mania shows, your 3 best matches, I think, are going to end up being the triple threats. Just kind of the way that
and we bitched about it the whole time.
Yeah, but triple threats are kind of where WWE kind of does their business, right? They really crush them for the most part, especially on like the grand stages of like a Mania. But all in all, I mean, I think as disappointing as the build felt, they paid off the story as it was built. You know what I mean? They kept saying that Io was the afterthought. That's how everything was. It was Rhea and Bianca, and then Io getting pissed that they weren't including her, and then she'd kick both their asses, and then she won to prove that she wasn't the afterthought. So I think she's the one that benefits from the win the most. I don't think Bianca and Rhea lose anything in this match. I think it just kind of, however they want to go from here, they're still wide open with. And Io's got some fun matches she can do down the road as well. But Io was fucking awesome in this match. I mean, all three of them were, but that closing sequence when she gets just drilled, looking like she could have fallen off the top rope to the floor at any point, takes the hard part of the turnbuckle bump, and then she stays up there, hit the moonsault in the finish. It was so good. I had a fun time with this match, and you probably overrate it a little bit just because it's the first match of the night. You're like excited for it, but I thought that they really delivered and
They had
really
good
got up.
shoes. They
Yeah.
had it because the build was such clusterfuck, and no one wanted a triple threat. No one's going to remember that at the end of the day, and they're going to look fondly back on the match, and that's the right thing. And it was very good.
And this
All
was the
right,
match that everybody said, even if the build's not good, the match is going to rule. So that kind of puts added pressure on them, and they perform to that for sure.
Yeah, the match quality is going to totally direct where the story needs to go. Hopefully, wherever.
I think I'll like it more on a second watch.
Yeah, it was great on the first watch. All right, D'Amato about this match. Hot opener, crowd was happy. It was anyone but Belair. Interesting, right? So Belair is someone that I've never really wavered on. I continue to like her immensely and be into everything that she's doing. So I think that the crowd respects that they are heading that direction of a heel and they're playing the game. That's how I take it.
And she's in there with Rhea fucking Ripley, who's their biggest female star. She's in there with Io, who's the WrestleMania crowd's star, right?
Yeah.
She's the big time internet favorite.
Internet darling, right? Of the women's.
That's division. What Mania is. That's what's over at a Mania. So
all right. And also he said every luchador was fucking over, like pre-show, during the show. Very hot luchador crowd. And that's interesting coming with the news of AAA. Aero Lucha getting bought by the WWE. I got Chad's feelings on that last night. What's yours, Mike? I know you kind of dabble a little bit in Mexico. You got your hands in every little cookie jar interest-wise. What's your overall thoughts on this?
I'm just kind of curious where it's going to be. Like that, I get brought to Alberto Del Rio being one of their champions, and that kind of is like, oh, what the fuck? But I think it's a thing that came through as huge news, but it was also nothing that I was really shocked by. Right? I feel like there's kind of been rumblings of them at least working together.
You listen to Conan, you can feel the tea leaves coming.
Right, and Conan out of the blue last year turned his tune on WWE completely. Penta and Phoenix, who you never really knew had interest in going to WWE, now they can't wait to get there. You could kind of feel something was coming, right? I don't think it'd be an outright purchase, and I also think that AAA is run by people that I don't think they're going to like giving up control, so I don't know what all of this is going to mean. But at the end of the day, there's some fun matches that you can do. AEW's got the tie-in with CMLL, so AAA was obviously the natural move. I don't think this is the last company they're gonna bring into the fold in the next week or two. I don't know.
They are in the midst of big game hunting.
I think they're in the midst of something in Japan.
Okay,
that's something big in Japan.
That would be this AAA stuff is big news. That would be fucking massive news. And historically, what an incredible tape library that actually coincides a little bit with theirs from the past too, as well.
Right.
Honestly, if NJPW is up for sale, they are in far better hands in the WWE than AEW, in my opinion.
Yeah, because there's so much shit that's there, and again, the thing that really kind of triggers it for me is like a guy like Naito is leaving New Japan. Where's he gonna go? Right? Like, is he? AEW is not going to sign him. He's not healthy enough. Maybe bring him in for a show here or there. WWE wouldn't want to sign a guy. He would never pass a physical for them. But, to be a New Japan lifer and get the New Japan payday and be a god there and just be like, I'm leaving. I think that there's stuff going. And it seems like a lot more people are getting out of New Japan right now than people that are coming in. So
because are they cutting costs? Like,
I think there's something coming. And, I don't know. I saw something on X today. Somebody was reporting, if you think the AAA deal is a big deal, wait till you see what else is coming or something like that. So I think that Rock New Japan shirt's going to come to fruition for something.
You bring up his name again, you're going to trigger me. All right. So this is my final conclusion on the main event. You booked a match at WrestleMania with a 50-year-old John Cena who was like on the green on the 17th hole, or excuse me, of the 18th hole, and he's got a fucking one putt, a three putt to fucking eagle a fucking hole to win it. So he's putting uphill, no pun intended. You fucking conclude Elimination Chamber with a fucking historical event with The Rock, and you have Rock and Cody buzz in history for 2 years leading into this. You add Travis Scott, who is bigger than anyone pop culture wise in the WWE. You insert there. People are yearning for the NWO. They can compare it, Rodman to Scott, Hollywood Hogan to fucking Cena. The Rock is the luminary, whatever, right? Then you have all this build. You get one fantastic John Cena promo and three other duds or whatever, right? So you get that. And it's just fucking frustrating that you can see it coming for being a dud. Let's be right. And is it a complete dud? No, by a star rating aspect, it's not a dud. It's a fucking 3-star match, right? But it's a monumental moment. You're coming off 2 fantastic WrestleMania main events in a row. And that's right, Dr. Smith. Cortez Smith, fraud. Rhodes should have never beat your tribal chief. Tribal chief would have never gone out there and give us that performance. But I do feel for Cody. He was a very good champion for a whole year. Say what you want about him, but the company did not decline or whatever. They're in a little jeopardy of that right now because the bar is so high, the business is so high, but they've never had this bad of reaction in a long, long time. So is the WWE going to foreclose and NJPW going to buy it tomorrow? No, I'm not saying that, but they're at a fucking 9.5 out of 10 on the Richter scale, and anything is going to be a decline because you're never going to fully reach a 10, right? So why go out there and book a fucking 50-year-old man in the main event when he didn't have to have this crescendo of a main event? Yes, he deserved it, but ultimately John Cena is a miss at WrestleMania. So it's not like he was capable to go out there and have a Savage and Steamboat fucking moment. And historically, he doesn't even fucking need it. This is going to be a tarnish on his record, in my opinion, this WrestleMania main event. So am I disappointed? Yes. Right? But listen, Cody's 40, sure, but 40 is the new 30. It's 2025. Let's be real, right?
Especially in WWE.
Yeah, especially like Cena has a plethora of great main events on this title run, and altogether, he's a big main event wrestler. So it's disappointing. I'm not going to flip out like I did earlier, but it warrants the disrespect that it got. It is a slap in the face to all the people that went there. It's a slap in the face to a lot of people that put all their time and investment into that. And ultimately, I think it's on The Rock. Like Triple H does get a pass. He has some goodwill and so on and so forth. But it was a political game. It's political bullshit. And it's fucking unfortunate.
Yeah. I think it's the same sentiments we've had, from when we started. I just think that there could have been so many other ways that they did this, and it would have come off better. And even given the parameters of what they had, there were so many other ways that they could have done this, And, see, to the point that, Cena's made in the promos is, you're right, to kind of what we're just looking at here with Andy. Like, Cena did say he was going to ruin wrestling, but you don't do that to main event the biggest show of the year, right? So at the end of the day, Cena running around with the title, I don't think the business is going to get hurt by that. I think the crowd even wanted Cena to win this match.
No, I didn't really necessarily mean it like that.
But no, but honestly, it's some people might not be as excited about it now because it wasn't an exciting finish to a Mania.
Yeah, there's so much built up goodwill. So I understand they get a pass, but you're on the grandest stage of the all. Like your most publicized night is tonight, and it's a negative reaction. That's where I'm.
What compels you to watch if you're a Laps fan that watches Mania every year? What compels you to put Raw on tomorrow?
Nothing. Steve Bennett said it all earlier.
Nothing. Last year, it was you had to watch Raw. Yeah, you know what I mean? Coming out of Mania, and I think that's a miss. Like, is Seth Rollins going to draw you in, like with him and Heyman? Maybe, but you've got to have those two things that I think draw you into a post
The Raw
Mania.
after WrestleMania is always a draw too. All right, so Andy, thank you. Someone asked Triple H about Travis Scott, whether or not he's going to get in ring in a match, and Triple H compared his passion to the business to Bad Bunny. I'm not really dying to see Travis Scott again. Like I said earlier, these celebrities are kind of have a tough road in the WWE because it's so scrutinized, and he's got bad juju on him, in our opinion. We're hardcore fucking marks, and we're very protective and accepting. And for you to go out here and be a part of a stinker, we're protecting, and we're going to kind of deflect a little bit of our bullshit onto you and blame you a little bit, right?
Bad Bunny was never in a stinker. You know what I mean? Like he was involved in that Rumble. Then he had the Fun Mania tag match, and it was off from there. So he didn't get built up to this level either, and wasn't forced into the main event scene. So all in all, I almost feel bad for Travis Scott because
it's a terrible spot. It all points to The Rock, right? Let's be real. All right, like, what do you mean? WWE lost 2 million viewers since WrestleMania 40 with Fraud Rhodes being the choice guy. I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. You want to elaborate a little bit more there? I'll give you 2 more seconds as we're getting out of here. Overall, Mike, last night I ended up giving this a 10. Out of 10, I gave it a 7. I'm probably going 6.5 here. And for me to think that night 1 was better than night 2, is it really? I don't know, because night 2's undercard was so electric and fun that when I was at the Becky Lynch match, I'm like, wow, we're fucking done almost. And we're all anticipating the main event. But I was at a 7 because of that Rockstar 3-way we got last night. I'm probably at a 6.5 because of that dud we had this in the main event tonight.
Overall, yeah. I mean, I think I would still probably pick tonight as a single show over last night because I think the first half of the show was that strong. But the overall rating, yeah, it didn't improve, I think, off of last night. The main event carries so much weight, especially if it didn't follow such an electric angle coming out of Elimination Chamber to follow up with this, then it would be, it just feels like we kind of shit down the throat of that Elimination Chamber finish with what they did here. And that sucks because that was like, I'm wearing a fucking t-shirt that has all the 3 guys on it from that angle. Like, it was a huge angle in wrestling history, but now it feels less important. And, obviously there's still a follow-up that's going to come with this. But I don't think you got people beating down the doors to watch that follow-up. I think that people are going to be more interested in the Heyman stuff, whatever Punk does next. If they do Braun Breaker and Jay or whatever they do, there's still going to be shit that's going to be cool. But when Cody doesn't have the title anymore, it better be really cool with what they come up with Cena, because Cody, whether we like him or not, he's somebody that brings eyes to the product, and he's a good company champion.
He was.
They don't have that right now. Like, Cena's obviously important with the title, but he's not going to be doing the TV shows parading the title around. It doesn't make sense as a heel, and Jey Uso can't do it without, drinking a 30-pack before he does it, from the sounds of it. So it's interesting. I don't think that we've got a company head right now to be on Good Morning America tomorrow. Like, obviously Cena can do it, but he would just be a snarky heel. It's just weird coming out of Mania where there isn't that one person, even if it was like a woman. Like, it's not going to be Io.
I was saying maybe it's Tiffany, honestly, or it's Becky and Lyra, the tag champs. It's crazy.
Yeah, so, or like Dom Mysterio, so that's the part of it that's weird. And at the end of the day, I'm not as excited about the post-Mania as I was hoping it would be, or based on the last few years, it was way more gripping on what we're going to be watching tomorrow than what will be tomorrow from this year,
Well, and then again, the reports today, there's going to be a ton of surprises post NXT call-ups, so on and so forth. So their buzz will kind of be there, and we will dissipate. So, all right, Rossi, we're here at the end. Guys, thanks for the stream numbers were great tonight, so thanks for jumping on and being interactive. And Rossi, it was really fun, and I'm glad I had you. And I'm glad we had no internet problems like NXT.
Yeah, way better. And I'll be back tomorrow on the Pod Network with my Tuesday really with my full episode and recap. So shooting sharp 8. Run through everything that happened all weekend. It's not going to be just WWE. I'll run through what I watched and give you guys
the
opinions
Raw
and stuff.
recap too as well.
And the Raw recap will be part of it. So we'll pretty much cover everything that was in Vegas over the last week, other than the NXT show on Tuesday.
Yep. Andy, again, thank you for the Triple H stuff. Guys, see you on the next one. Thank you.